knowing how much the Queen adored her grandchildren and her great-grandchildren, I'm sure that accommodations have been made for all of them in her will, including Harry and Meghan and Archie and Lilibet. I mean, we may not ever know what Charles's actual inheritance is, for the simple reason that the Queen's will remain confidential.
The moment Prince William read Queen Elizabeth II's final will, Buckingham Palace seemed to hold its breath. What could possibly be inside that has remained sealed for so long? As the royal family gathered, the world waited in suspense. Who would inherit what, and what secrets had the Queen kept hidden? Could there be shocking revelations in her last words? What could the Queen's final decisions mean for the future of the monarchy? The secrets in her final will. Queen Elizabeth II, the longest reigning monarch in British history, left behind a legacy unmatched in modern times when she passed away on September 8, 2022. As the world mourned her loss, whispers about her will and the treasures it contained began circulating. What exactly had she written? Who would inherit what? And what secrets lay hidden within the sealed document? These questions fueled curiosity and speculation, yet the answers were locked away in a tradition that stretches back over a century. When it comes to royal wills, there's a strict protocol: secrecy. The Queen's will, just like those of her predecessors, remains sealed, ensuring her final wishes stay private. This practice protects the royal family from public scrutiny and keeps sensitive family matters under wraps. But here's the kicker: this secrecy has only amplified the intrigue. What was so important that it had to be shielded from the public eye? Though the exact contents of her will are unknown, her immense wealth gives us clues. Queen Elizabeth's personal fortune was estimated at $500 million. This fortune was built on an eclectic mix of investments, personal art, rare jewels, and stunning properties. Her private estates, including the beloved Sandringham estate in Norfolk and the breathtaking Balmoral Castle in Scotland, were more than just luxurious homes. They were rich with family history and personal sentiment. These properties, not tied to the monarchy itself, are thought to have been passed down to her family, likely her eldest son, King Charles III. Then there's the crown jewels, icons of the British monarchy. These priceless treasures, including the imperial state crown and the sovereign scepter, are not part of her personal wealth. Instead, they belong to the nation and are held in trust by the reigning monarch. Upon her passing, these dazzling symbols of power naturally transitioned to King Charles III. But pause for a moment. Imagine being the one who inherits jewels worth billions. The weight of tradition and history in those gems is almost as heavy as the jewels themselves. The Queen's personal art collection also raises eyebrows. The official royal collection, with its masterpieces from artists like Rembrandt, is held in trust for the country. But her private collection? That's a different story. Passed down through generations, these priceless pieces may have been included in her will. But who received them remains a well-kept secret. It's a reminder of how the Queen balanced her public role with private treasures. The royal family's financial arrangements are fascinating for another reason: taxes. When Queen Elizabeth II passed, sovereign-to-sovereign bequests, like the ones likely made to King Charles, were exempt from inheritance tax. This provision, unique to the monarchy, ensures the crown's wealth remains intact, preserving its power and influence. This rule has sparked debates, but for the royals, it's just another tradition that safeguards their legacy. What about philanthropy? The Queen was a lifelong supporter of countless charities and organizations. Though her will remains sealed, it wouldn't be surprising if she left provisions for causes close to her heart. After all, she was not only the face of the monarchy, but also a figure deeply respected for her compassion and commitment to service. Now here's where things get even more intriguing. What else could be in her will that we don't know about? Could there be personal letters, private apologies, or unexpected bequests to staff members or friends outside the royal fold? This secrecy creates a mystique that keeps everyone guessing, adding to the allure of the monarchy's inner workings. The decision to seal royal wills isn't new. It began in 1910 with the will of Prince Francis of Teck and has been maintained ever since. It's a tradition that's as much about privacy as it is about preserving the dignity of the monarchy. Imagine if the world had access to every personal decision a queen made for her family. The scrutiny would be relentless, and the monarchy might lose some of its carefully maintained mystique. Ultimately, the Queen's will is a reflection of her life, full of duty, tradition, and personal touches kept hidden from the spotlight. While we may never know the full details, what's certain is that her passing marked the end of a monumental chapter in history. And as for the will, that's a mystery likely to remain sealed, leaving the world to wonder about the treasures and secrets the Queen chose to carry with her into eternity. But the most intriguing part of the will is the crown jewels, all those dazzling tiaras and royal necklaces. What did the Queen say about them? What is their true importance, and how are they so deeply connected to the royal family? Did she leave a secret note about their history, or how they should be cherished? The legacy of the crown jewels. The crown jewels of the British monarchy aren't just glittering pieces locked away in the Tower of London. They're symbols of 1,000 years of history, tradition, and power. With more than 100 objects and over 23,000 gemstones, they represent the heart of the monarchy. Visitors flock from all over the world to see them, yet their true significance goes far beyond the breathtaking sparkle. These jewels have a history as complex as the monarchy itself. Many pieces date back to the 17th century when King Charles II commissioned new regalia after the originals were destroyed during Oliver Cromwell's rule. This act of restoration wasn't just about replacing lost treasures, it was a declaration that the monarchy would endure. From that point forward, each piece became more than a stunning work of art. They became sacred, tied to coronations, ceremonies, and the very identity of the British crown. But here's a twist. What makes these jewels priceless isn't just their beauty or historical significance, but the stories they carry. Take the imperial state crown, for instance. Worn by the monarch during the state opening of Parliament, it's not only decked with the Black Prince's ruby and the Cullinan II diamond, but also represents centuries of war, diplomacy, and royal power. Then there's the sovereign scepter, showcasing the Cullinan Morse, the largest clear-cut diamond in the world. Just imagine the sheer weight, both physical and symbolic, that these pieces carry. Ownership of the crown jewels is a fascinating quirk of monarchy. They aren't personal property, they belong to the nation, held in trust by the reigning monarch. This means Queen Elizabeth II, during her 70 years on the throne, didn't own the jewels in the traditional sense. Instead, she safeguarded them as part of her duty. Upon her death in September 2022, they seamlessly transitioned to King Charles III. The jewels are as much a part of the monarchy as the crown itself, passed down with no mention in a will or document. Of course, not every glittering gem is part of the official crown jewels. Queen Elizabeth's private collection is a treasure trove in its own right. Tiaras, necklaces, brooches, each with its own story and sentiment. Some were heirlooms passed down through generations. Others were personal acquisitions, gifts, or tokens from world leaders. This collection is personal property, unlike the crown jewels, and is believed to have been distributed among family members through her private will. Now here's where things get intriguing. Did the Queen have a favorite piece? And if so, who might have inherited it? While her will remains sealed, royal tradition suggests that pieces with special family ties are often passed to specific individuals. For instance, the Queen Consort, Princess of Wales, and other key royals could have received select jewels as part of this discreet process. Each piece tells a story, and each transfer marks a continuation of that legacy. The jewels aren't just about family ties, they are steeped in national history and controversy. Take the Koh-i-Noor diamond, set in the Queen Mother's crown. This gemstone has a storied and contested history, originally from India, and acquired during the British Empire's expansion. Its inclusion in the royal collection has sparked debates about its origins and whether it should be returned to its homeland. The same can be said for other jewels with colonial connections, which are now part of a broader conversation about the monarchy's past. The late Queen Elizabeth II valued tradition and symbolism, and her use of the crown jewels reflected this deeply. Whether donning the imperial state crown for formal occasions or holding the sovereign's orb during her coronation in 1953, she embodied the continuity of the monarchy. These symbols weren't just ceremonial, they were deeply personal. They connected her to the monarchs who came before her and to the people she served. But let's not forget one of the most iconic and fascinating elements of the royal collection, the tiaras. Queen Elizabeth's tiaras were not just accessories, but integral parts of her royal persona. Each one told a unique story, and held great sentimental and historical significance. The tiaras weren't simply for adornment. They were powerful symbols of the Queen's position and influence. One of the most famous is the Cambridge Lover's Knot Tiara. Originally a gift from Queen Mary to the Princess of Wales in 1930, the tiara became an iconic piece worn by Princess Diana. Later it was passed to Kate Middleton, the Duchess of Cambridge, and it has since become a staple in her royal wardrobe. The design of the tiara is a delicate pattern of diamonds and pearls, an exquisite example of British craftsmanship. It's been worn for royal weddings, state banquets, and countless other significant events, making it a piece that connects past, present, and future generations. Then there's the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a stunning piece that was a wedding gift from Queen Mary to Princess Victoria Eugenia Battenberg in 1906. This tiara features diamonds arranged in an intricate pattern of scrolls. Over the years, it has been passed down to several members of the royal family, including the Queen herself. It's a symbol of continuity, worn during Queen Elizabeth's own wedding and by various royal women in subsequent generations. The Queen's own wedding tiara is another beloved piece. The fringed tiara, originally owned by Queen Victoria, was altered for Elizabeth's wedding in 1947. This sparkling tiara made its debut on the Queen's wedding day and has since been worn on numerous important occasions. It's a striking symbol of her commitment to the monarchy and the history of the British crown. Now imagine this. What would happen if these priceless tiaras were passed down to the next generation? With Queen Elizabeth's passing, it's likely that these tiaras, along with other personal pieces, will be carefully distributed among her family members. Camilla, the Queen consort, would likely inherit several key pieces, while Kate Middleton might also receive more pieces, continuing the tradition of these tiaras being worn by royal women for years to come. The jewels aren't just about their financial value or beauty. They are woven into the very fabric of the royal family's legacy. These tiaras, each with their own intricate design and royal story, are steeped in the history of Britain. As they pass from one generation to the next, they carry with them the weight of centuries of tradition. But here's the ultimate question. What do these jewels really mean to the monarchy today? Beyond their financial value, which is truly incalculable, they represent the resilience of an institution that has weathered wars, political upheavals, and changing times. They are a reminder of a history that cannot be undone and a future that remains tied to the past. As King Charles III inherits these treasures, he also takes on the weight of their history and meaning. The crown jewels are not just his to wear, but his to protect. They serve as a bridge between his mother's unparalleled reign and the new chapter he must now lead. The jewels are living artifacts of a dynasty that has shaped the modern world. As they continue to dazzle onlookers and play their role in state ceremonies, one thing is certain: the crown jewels will forever remain a glittering symbol of the British monarchy, tied to the stories of those who wore them and the legacy they leave behind. The royal estates and their legacy. When you think of the British royal family, it's hard not to picture their lavish palaces, sprawling estates, and centuries-old traditions. These grand properties are more than just places to live. They are the lifeblood of the monarchy, carrying deep historical and cultural significance. But what do these royal estates really mean to the family? And how do they help preserve the monarchy's legacy for future generations? Let's dive into the world of the royal assets and uncover the stories they tell. Buckingham Palace is arguably the most famous royal residence. While it may seem like a personal home to the royal family, it's actually part of the Crown Estate, a vast collection of land and properties owned by the reigning monarch but held in trust for the nation. The Queen didn't technically own Buckingham Palace, and neither does King Charles now. The palace, though, still plays an incredibly important role in the monarchy, hosting state events, official ceremonies, and being the symbol of the British royal presence in London. So why is this distinction important? While the royal family doesn't directly benefit from selling or transferring Buckingham Palace, it still stands as the heart of the British monarchy, generating revenue and maintaining its grandeur for future generations. Beyond Buckingham Palace, the royal family also owns other iconic properties, some personal, some tied to the monarchy. Sandringham House, for instance, has long been a beloved family retreat. Located in Norfolk, it's not just a luxurious property, but a place steeped in memories and tradition. The Queen spent Christmases here with her family, a tradition that dates back to the late 19th century, when it was purchased by her great-grandfather, King Edward VII. Unlike Buckingham Palace, Sandringham is part of the Queen's private wealth and was passed down through the royal family, ensuring a personal connection to the home. But what happens to Sandringham now? It's likely passed to King Charles, who has spent time there with his own family. But just like Buckingham Palace, it holds more than just financial value. It's a symbol of the royal family's rich history. Then there's Balmoral Castle, nestled in the rugged Scottish Highlands, which holds an even more personal significance. Queen Elizabeth's family spent many summer holidays at Balmoral, a place of reflection and tranquility away from the public eye. But what makes this estate stand apart from others? Balmoral was purchased by Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, in 1852, and it has remained in the royal family ever since. Balmoral is a perfect example of the monarchy's deep connection to the land. Unlike other royal estates, Balmoral was the royal family's private retreat, a place where they could escape the weight of their responsibilities. After Queen Elizabeth's passing, Balmoral, like Sandringham, will likely pass to King Charles, continuing the royal tradition in Scotland. Windsor Castle, meanwhile, stands as one of the oldest and most iconic royal residences in the world. With over 1,000 years of history, Windsor has served as a royal residence for countless monarchs. It's where Queen Elizabeth spent her final days, a poignant reminder of its importance as a place of continuity and stability. As the largest inhabited castle in the world, Windsor isn't just a home but a monumental symbol of the monarchy's endurance. So how does Windsor Castle fit into the bigger picture? Much like Buckingham Palace, Windsor Castle is tied to the Crown Estate, but its role in British history makes it more than just another royal property. Windsor Castle will continue to play a central role in King Charles's reign, serving as both a residence and a symbolic stronghold of the monarchy. While these historic estates and palaces represent wealth, they also reflect the royal family's legacy and their responsibility to uphold tradition. The Crown Estate, which includes properties like Buckingham Palace, is managed independently of the royal family's personal finances. This unique arrangement ensures the monarchy's independence and the continuity of its duties, without being subject to the financial pressures that other families might face. But how does this setup benefit the monarchy today? It allows the family to maintain their royal lifestyle while protecting their assets from the ups and downs of the economy. It also ensures that the monarchy's wealth is used to serve the nation, providing funding for royal duties, public engagements, and the upkeep of their vast properties. Apart from these grand estates, the royal family also has a treasure trove of art, rare artifacts, and heirlooms that span centuries of British history. The Royal Collection Trust houses priceless artworks from artists like Rembrandt, Leonardo da Vinci, and many others. These treasures are not just valuable in monetary terms. They represent the monarchy's cultural and historical importance. The collection is held in trust for the public, but its management helps fund the monarchy's activities, making it an integral part of their financial structure. So what's the connection between these pieces of art and the royal family? The royal collection isn't just a symbol of wealth, it's a way of preserving British history and sharing it with the public, ensuring the monarchy's legacy remains intact for generations. As King Charles begins his reign, these royal estates and holdings will continue to be the cornerstone of the monarchy's power. These properties are more than just symbols of luxury. They're keys to the continuity of the British monarchy. Each estate, from the grandeur of Buckingham Palace to the peaceful beauty of Balmoral, is a testament to the royal family's rich history and its role in shaping the national identity of Britain. The royal family's connection to their estates and assets goes beyond mere wealth. It's about ensuring the monarchy's legacy continues. These homes and lands are a tangible link to the past, a way of preserving the history and traditions that have defined the British monarchy for centuries. As King Charles takes on the mantle of monarch, these properties will serve as a reminder of the weight of history on his shoulders. Will they continue to define the monarchy in the same way they have for centuries? Only time will tell. But for now, these assets are more than just palaces. They are the foundation of the royal family's place in British life. While much of the Queen's will remains a mystery, it's hard not to wonder. What could be so secretive that it had to stay hidden? Why did Queen Elizabeth II choose to keep her final wishes private? We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Drop a comment below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the royal world. Thanks for watching.